Yeah, apparently the main thing I was missing from my first video was sex appeal. Yeah, I think we got it now. How's it going, guys? Welcome to another episode of Rich Reviews. Today, we're going to be talking about Baywatch. It stars Dwayne Johnson, Zac Efron, and is a big screen adaptation of the popular show from the 1990s. You may remember the show starring Pamela Anderson and David Hasselhoff. It's a show about crime happening in this Bay Area, and these lifeguards decide to solve crimes, and it's really about goofy stories and slo-mo and titties bouncing, misogyny, and abs, and, you know, hassling the Hoff and all kinds of good 90s cheese. Me personally, I've never really watched the show. I know of the show. I know all about, you know, Pamela Anderson. Ooh. Running in slow motion. Misogyny! So going into this review, know that I really don't have any attachments to the show. I never really watched it. I just know of it. So I don't really have any ties, nostalgia-wise, to the show. So what's the film about? Well, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, plays Mitch Buchanan, and he's the head lifeguard of the town where Baywatch is taking place at. Sometimes The Rock, he likes to take things into his own hands. Sometimes he does things the police are supposed to do. He tries to solve crimes on the beach, and it's out of his jurisdiction, but, you know, he's all for protecting the bay and, you know, the good of the people, and, you know, he's The Rock. He's a charming guy. You know, you gotta love him. Zac Efron is a former Olympic swimmer named Matt Brody. He's coming into the town, and he's kind of a new recruit. He's joining the Baywatch crew as sort of a PR spokesperson. The head honchos think that he'll make things better relation-wise between the public and Baywatch. So of course, The Rock and Zac Efron, their personalities are different and they butt heads and collide, but they ultimately have to overcome their differences and join together and become a awesome crew of lifeguards to take down a sinister bad guy with a generic drug plot, and she's really villainous and really cartoony, and boy, is this film a mess. If you're familiar with the show Baywatch, you automatically know going into this film that it's not going to be anything super serious or Oscar-worthy or super dramatic. It's going to be cheesy summer fun. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with cheesy fun. But when it gets so convoluted and the plot is so crazy, it just becomes a little too much. When you're watching films, you have that sense of, you know, suspending your disbelief, which means you know things happen in films that don't really happen in real life. Or when you see a guy like fall out of a window and he bounces off a car and he just lays there and he's and then he gets up and starts running again, you know that's not going to happen in real life. In real life, the guy's going to be, his bones are going to be broken, and he's going to be sent to the hospital. But you know it's just a movie. And if the characters are well written and you're invested in them, you're willing to suspend your disbelief and you're willing to go with it. You let something slide even though you know that really wouldn't happen. In Baywatch, the script is completely messy. The dialogue is cheesy. A lot of the jokes do not land. There are a few jokes that made me laugh. There's one with The Rock and Zac Efron. They're talking about their balls, talking about how, you know, my balls say we got to go into that place and check it out. At the end of the movie, you see it in the trailers. They're running on the beach and it's slow motion and there's, you know, it's all typical Baywatch stuff. It's cool. And then Zac Efron, he falls and he trips and he stumbles and he gets back up, and then, you know, you saw it in the trailer. That is a perfect metaphor and symbol for how this movie is. It starts out and you're laughing at it and it's Baywatch. These are, you know, it's kind of funny and it's, you know, it's whimsical kind of. And then the movie starts to stumble and the pacing gets off and it's just, it becomes a bit of a mess. And then right back there at the end, the last few minutes of the movie, it picks up and it's cool and it goes out. For the first third of this movie, I was enjoying it pretty well. I mean, the jokes, there were a few jokes in there where I was like, ugh, that's a groaner or whatever. But for the most part, I liked the characters and the jokes were hitting pretty good. But then once the plot with all the drug stuff and this villainous woman, it just starts to bog itself down, and it's generic. Like, I've seen this crap before. There's a guy in this film that I haven't seen in anything before. His name's John Bass, and he plays Ronnie. He's the chubby, quirky, funny new recruit for the Baywatch crew. And I've seen a lot of comic relief in my day. But this guy, not a lot of the stuff landed with him. And I hate to say it, I mean, I'm sure he's a nice guy. I don't really know him, but whatever. But just for me personally, that character, not a lot of laughs came from him. Kind of reminds me of a diet Josh Gad. I think that's the best way I can describe him. A diet Josh Gad. And if you saw the intro to this video, you know I'm not a big fan of diets. He gets one of the lifeguards in the end, and I thought that was, you know, it's pretty cool. Woo! One of the chubby guys wins. It's an important moment in our time right now, that a character with a dad bod can end up with a very sexy individual such as the lady in this film. And I just think that it's very progressive, and I'm looking to see more characters like that in films and not just Adam Sandler movies. Okay, I'm about to butcher this name. Daddy Alexandra Daddario? I hope I said that right. I mean, no, she was not too great. I mean, I think a lot of it is just the way that these characters are written. I mean, she was good to look at. I mean, don't get me wrong. Woo! She was hot. If I was drowning in the ocean, I would definitely want her to save me. Misogyny! She's been in a film with The Rock before called San Andreas, which I watched, and it was, you know, pretty fun. We'll get to that another day. Maybe. The special effects in this movie are kind of crappy, to be honest with you. There are some fire effects in this film that are about on the same level, or maybe just a little bit higher or below than some fire effects that have been used in my films. I mean, you've got The Rock running around on this boat. Clearly poor CGI fire. He's like, what's wrong? I could save you. Is there anyone else on the boat? And there's fire like right here, dude. It's gonna like burn your freaking head. One thing about the film, it is self-aware, and it clearly has a tone of, we know we're doing something goofy. We know that this is Baywatch, and it's going to be goofy, and we're going to have fun. But at the same time, there are moments in this film where the tone starts to get a little bit more serious, and drama starts to come up, and I'm like, do I need to take you serious now? Or are you going to do another dick joke? That's just kind of the issues I have with this film, is the script, the humor doesn't work all the time, a big majority of the time. The actors are fine, they look great, they look the part. Zac Efron and Dwayne Johnson have good chemistry, I feel. And it's just bleh. So all in all, how do I feel about Baywatch? You don't need to spend money on this film in the theater. It's one of those movies, it's fine for in the background. Like, you know, you got a party going on, it's like a summer party, you got the booze going, you're by the pool, but people are going in and out of the house, you know, you like get snacks or whatever, and maybe there's a few people watching, you know, watching TV or whatever. It's fine to have it on in the background. It's just a meh movie. And that's sad, because Dwayne Johnson, he's great. I mean, I like Dwayne Johnson. He's a really good actor, and he's in a lot of movies. He's in this movie, he was in Fast 8, and we got Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, coming out later this year. That's going to be another one that, hopefully it's going to be fun. If you don't see Baywatch in theaters, you're not missing much. If you don't ever see it at all, you're not missing much. But if you want a dumb, schlocky, you know, cheeseball movie that's meh, but does have a likable Dwayne Johnson and Zac Efron in it, then the movie's for you. You should check it out. If you're not a fan of that, then I'd say stay away from this one. Alright guys, so thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed it.
She be dancing. and I don't